Hey, how's everyone doing? My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and this is our Wednesday evening portrait class. I'm going to turn this light down a little bit. In fact, let me see if I could even turn it off. No, we got to go on, but we'll maybe go real light there. That's better. Okay. Where was I? This is our Wednesday evening portrait class. We always get together on Wednesday evenings. Try and make it 8 o'clock Eastern time, so that if you lived anywhere in the North American continent, you could see it at a half decent hour. Those are my European friends. I'm so sorry, but you're gonna have to stay up late. And if you're from Australia, which some of you are, you're going to be 24 hours, so you're just waking up to this. So welcome. Hey, let's see. Tonight we're going to be drawing this American Indian. And, when it comes to portrait drawing, a lot of times, you will see people start off with a portrait with using a sphere. Well, if I could get away with using a cube or straight lines, I like to do that. And this is a really good example where we could use straight lines instead of a sphere to start our drawing. So let me show you how I would approach this, and maybe, just maybe, you might be able to pick up some ideas. So let's get right into it right now. Let's see here. Okay, so let me make sure I'm on my blank layer there. I'm going to put a little color here on screen so I don't have to do that all the time. Okay, so look at this. Look at the front of his face here. Can you envision that there is it is almost a perfectly straight line? And then, of course, the back side, look at that. We got two parallel lines. So let's do that on our picture here. So let's start with the front one here. And keep this light, so we'll just kind of come in like this. We're going to make some adjustments there, and then on this next one, now be careful. Try and get the right proportion. All right, so that's about what I'm at. It's about how big I'm drawing right now. So let's see. Let's get a straight line over here, a straight line, and let's put some marks on the page so we kind of have an idea of proportions. So one thing I want you to be aware of is right here. That's the temple. All right. We'll come back and put these in just a second. I'm going to show you some lines I'm going to use in order to help break this up. So there's the beginning of that sideburn right there. And look, there is the ear, okay? Let's get those lines in. So let's start with that sideburn, because that sideburn is almost directly in the middle of our picture. You see this? And then right to its left, we have another line. Look, just kind of guesstimate that. It's going to be right about there. And then, of course, the temple is going to be somewhere about there. One thing I am going to do here is I'm going to make this a little bit bigger as far as my picture goes, so you can see it a little bit better on your side there. Okay, let's go ahead now. Let's establish where that brow line is. What do I mean by the brow line? Well, let me show you. We could definitely use another color here. This is the brow line, the line that goes through the brow. You see that? And it typically is going to kind of go around. It kind of has a curve because it's going around the head. You see? Let's put that in as well. That's going to help kind of start to establish where everything's going to fall. All right, then let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and get the top of our head. You see that? Like that. Hey, Louise, how are you doing? Okay, look at that center line. You see that center line? Let's just come over here, right here. This is the center, right down the middle of the nose, and I kind of already drew it, but we'll drop it in just like that. And then this here, that there is the temple. So what can we do with the temple to help us? Well, this is our temple right there. Look at this. You see, that represents the side of the head there. Let's give that a shot. Hey, Chris, how are you? What I'm doing here is I'm working on my construction, and this is key. It's so important that you focus of learning how to draw the construction of the face, because if you do that, then the likeness will automatically happen. You don't even have to try and do it. Focus on the construction, and the likeness will follow right in step. Okay. Okay, this allows us then to kind of put our ear in place, because the ear, remember, is right there, almost right in the center. Hey, Judith, how are you? So let's come over here. I'm just kind of like using straight lines of kind of getting my ear in place. I am doing well. Thanks for asking. Okay. I'm going to get rid of all those lines now. And let's get his nose in place. Okay, so let's see here. Nose is going to, I'm just going to follow the contour first. Contour means the outline of the nose. So we're going to come down on the glabella. And look at the bottom of the nose lines up with the bottom of the ear. So let's just kind of drop a little line here. This will help us. And sometimes I really like to use straight lines before I start curving things. And then let's add just a little bit of tone underneath that nose. What we're doing is working on basic shapes. All right, let's get that nostril in place. Like that. And look how, like, the bottom, when I did the wing of the nose, look, the very bottom of it doesn't touch the nostril. It comes down below it and then kind of curls up into it. You see that? From underneath the nose, behind the nose, you have that section. This is called the ball of the mouth. You can see it right here. Look, the ball of the mouth. This is what gives your teeth and your lips a very round feel to them. Ball of the mouth. And then I'm going to put a little mark here. This is about where the opening of, I think it's going to be a little bit lower than that. It's going to be right about there. All right. And if you haven't already, please do like the video. And if you're not a subscriber to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That's always super helpful. And always a comment is wonderful. I never know what to ask. I never know what to say, like, oh, comment on this. I don't know. I just can never think of what I could have you answer. So just leave any comment. What's your favorite movie as far as cowboys and Indians go, right? I don't know. I'm just... Okay, here we go. So I dropped down, look, I dropped down from the ear there, and then I'm coming in and kind of giving the little bit of the jaw. We're going to come in and sharpen that up in just a minute. Let's put the eye line in. All right, let's get this mouth area here. So we're gonna come down like this, right? And then there is the underside of his lips there, and it looks like I'm not following my mark exactly, but that's what we do. We kind of sometimes we'll put a mark on the page and then we'll make an adjustment. That little divot. That's kind of like the V. It's right here. You see that? It's the V of the lips. And then there's the top of the lip. And the key is you've got to remember that always the corner of the lips. The corner of the lips are going to be dark in value. That's because it's pulling back like this. You see? The corners of the lips, and they're going around a round surface. And you could come in here and just kind of quickly just add a little bit of tone to that. Now back in the day, I read this great book by it was called How to Draw the Marvel Comics Way. And they had a tip in that book that has always stuck with me. And it said, when it comes to drawing men's lips, especially in the Marvel comics, they said, don't ever draw the bottom lip. Just draw the shadow underneath that lip. See, just like that. Just like that. Okay, let's come back to now let's get the bottom chin here. So we're going to kind of come down with our straight line there. And I'm kind of using a couple angles here. I'm going to add a little bit more tone to the underside of his nose. Plus, there's a little bit of a shadow underneath here as well. Okay. Let's go ahead and get these eyes in place. Now look, the corner of the eye usually lines up with the outside part of the nose. So right here, if I go straight up, look at that. Right there, you're going to get that tear duct. So let's come to our page, start with the wing and the nose, put a little dot there. That's going to be the tear duct of our eye. And now check this out here. This right here, this is our temple. And we put a dot on our page of where that's at. And then the corner of the eye is over here. Look at that. So that temple is almost like halfway. So let's just come over here. All we're going to do now is just go up and then a straight line and then come down just a bit. I'm going to erase this because I don't want it to distract us. Okay, now look at the whites of his eye. The whites of his eye are very dark. So we want to make sure that we add value in there. And then I'm just going to fill in the front end there like that. Look at that. Okay, now you could see that there's on his eyelid, the bottom eyelid, there's a fair amount of shadow there, but there's this little bit of a highlight. You see this? Look right there. Little bit of the highlight. So let's be mindful of that. So here I go. I'm going to put mine in first. So I'm just going to leave a little bit of the page up. Look at that. Just like that. And then you can see another line of a highlight right above his eyelid there, you see? So let's see here. Let's just kind of come in here with a little bit of a tone. And I'm just going to keep going with this tone. If you're interested, I do have a class called the Daily Draw. We get together every day of the week for five days, Monday through Friday, and we look at something different every single day. Today, we looked at drawing ears and noses from a side perspective. Tomorrow, we continue looking at character design. Fridays, we look at animals. Mondays, we always look at something natural, and Tuesdays is something man-made. Just keep going through that cycle, and really the purpose of the daily draw is to get you to draw habitually a little bit every day, but even more so to get you good. That's my aim. And in the description of this video, you could sign up for the daily draw. All right, let's go ahead and get this. Look, his eyebrows are coming up here pretty dark, and then they take this very serious downward slope. Look at that. Boom, just like that. And you could see right on the inside, look at this, right up here, there's this little group of muscles here that's like, he's like, that's where we must go. That's what he's saying right there. So we want to draw this and think of that as a big muscle coming right in there. And there's even a little bit of shadow here. Look at that. All right. Let's get to the other side here now. Now look carefully before you drop it in. Here's the eyebrow on the other side. look to see where it horizontally lines up with the other side. You see that? It's just slightly below the eyebrow on the other side there. So we're just going to come in here and drop a nice square. You've got this cut in. That's going to be the angles of the eye right here. You can feel it right there. And just look at this. Look at the value. That's all you gotta do is look at the shape and value. And you could barely see the other side there. You see that? I'm just adding some extra little indents, like the little shading from above the nostrils there. All right, let's get this other wrinkle up here. Look at this. Now look closely. Look closely at this area over here. Okay, look at that shape. You see the shape? Look, we come in, go around, and then around. All right, let's drop a little value right here, right here. See, this is nice. And then we can even come in here and do his cheek muscle, his cheekbone. Look at that, it's like a triangle. Do you see it? Right into his jaw. And then generally speaking, this whole side of his face is going to have a little bit of tone to it. Just looking at the shapes here, looking at the shapes. Always looking for construction. Okay, let's look at this right here. Here's right there. That's the edge of his neck underneath. You see that? And then the other side of his neck is somewhere behind this braid over here. So where does that neck line up? If I come straight up, oh, look at that. It lines up with the corner of the eye. All right, that's a great detail. All right, so let's just come down here like this. And then this is going to be the back side of the neck right there. And so let me show you a trick. Take your finger here. Feel that right there. That's the pit of your neck. That's actually what we call a landmark. When you start drawing more figure drawing, or even portraits, there are certain landmarks that help anchor the body. Okay, so the pit of the neck is one of them. So where's his pit of the neck? Because he's turning a little bit to the left, I believe the pit of the neck is going to be right there. And the one great thing about the pit of the neck, it has this tendon that goes right up, right behind the ear. And we could see it very clearly right there. And that really tells us a lot. That by adding that line into your drawing really gives your drawing a lot of anatomy. All right, so here is my pit of my neck is going to be right about there. In fact, I'll go drop back in for you. All right. And then we get that tendon that's going to come in right like that. You see? And everything on the far side of that tendon is going to be a little bit darker in shadow. Then the front side. Okay, let's get the underside of his face. Kind of comes like this. And then this will lead right into his throat. All of these little terms, you'll get it. It just takes time. Repetition is key. All right, let's go ahead and work in some of these hair here, right? So we're going to just kind of walk down the side of his head here. Now this back side, look at this here. This is where the braid is coming from, you see? And I think you could probably get a little stylized if you wanted to with this. All right, the other braid is coming down here like this. There's a slight curve to it. Let's get this buffalo skin or whatever it is that he's wearing. I'm not sure here. And then I'm just going to put some hash marks here. And then, of course, on this other side, I'm going to do the same. We got some type of color here, and then I'll add some hash marks over there. Okay, now let's get this hair in here. So first thing, this hair is going to be very dark, but it has that beautiful highlight, right? So let's just come in here. Let's start light first before we get all into detail, okay? All right, so let's come through here. We're going to add this here. And I'm going to wait for a little bit before I do those braids. Okay, ears. Let's get these ears in place. All right, so let's start with the outside shape of the ear. Okay, then you got the inside here coming around. Look at this. Then you have the Y of the ear. Watch. So there's the top part. And then the Y is the ear is right there, you see? Then we could come in here and darken it, darken the main dark values in that first. And then once we get those dark values in place, then we can come in with another value and get the rest of it. Well, at this point in the game, you should have your construction pretty much done. And now all that's left is starting to get our values a little bit more accurate. So let's start up here with the hair, and then we'll jump right into the braids. I'm just kind of coloring it in here now. Trying to keep variation so it doesn't look all exact, you see? Then it looks a lot more natural. All right, and look how straight. That will retain a real masculine look. Okay, let's get these braids here. Coming on down here, all right, let's get the outline first of them, all right? So let me show you how we're gonna do it. We're gonna start with this, look at that. Boom, you see that? Let's get that one in first. Okay, then the next one. So the next one's gonna come down like this. They're kind of like this shape here. Okay, the next thing, once you have your outline, now you're going to go in here and just add tone first. Tone or value. We always do tone first. Tone or value, and then we go in, then you go in with your detail. And here's the thing with portraits, as I'm just kind of drawing here. It's going to take time. It takes time to really get it down. So there are no shortcuts. You're going to have to get at least I'd say at least 500 portrait sketches under your belt. That might be a good goal. It's not crazy either. This little portrait here that we're working on right now, it's not very big. The size of this ultimately is only about maybe 4 by 5 at most. Four by 5. So the key is, if you want to get good at drawing portraits, you just have to get more under your belt. I was talking to a fellow artist, and they were talking about brush time. Christina Kent was talking about just getting brush time. What she meant by that is just time of painting. How important it is just to get time in painting every day. Well, drawing is exactly the same thing. You have to get you have to push your pencil. Look at this. This value is even darker here. Okay, then this coat here, look at this. I added some value to it. Added some value to it, and then I go in with the detail. Okay. I think that's going to do it for tonight. It was a little bit easier, I think, because we're only doing a side view. Slightly, we could see slightly the other side, but yeah, that should just about do it. You know, one thing I am doing right now, as I'm looking at the camera, right below the camera, I have my picture, that I could see in front of me, and I am doing a thing called a cartoon check. That means I'm looking at the photo, then looking at my picture, and I'm jumping back and forth. And the one area I'm a little concerned about is my chin area. And if I jump back and forth, I could see that I think this should be a little bit more rounded down here. How's that look? See, even at this point, I'm still like making slight adjustments. And I think his eyelashes are a little bit longer on the right hand side there. All right, that's it. I'm going to call this thing a night. Thank you for watching, everyone. Make sure that you sign up for the daily draw if that would interest you. Also, I have in the description, there's also 10 sketchbook habits every artist should know. It's a PDF that you could download. Check it out. Thanks for watching. Go out there, make your day great. My name's Kurt, and I'm a dad who draws. Okay, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.